Hello and welcome to the SoundLab podcast interviews unedited. On today's show, we have interviews from Bye Parula, Dan Byrne, Professional 101, Bayside from Slam Dunk Festival, and we throw back to 2021 where we had a chat with PJ Morton of Maroon 5. So without further ado, let's kick off with our first interview of the show, and it comes from Bye Parula. They've been busy releasing new music, touring coming up, and an album too. I had a chat with them all about it. So Bye Parula, how are you?
Oh, hello. Pretty good here.
Hello, Jim.
Hi from Montreal.
Yeah, no, hope everything's going well over where you are, because things are going well here, especially because we've been playing a single of yours called I Don't Know. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Yeah, well, this is a song that is supposed to be the answer of our first single, Byrne. So, so it's the other part of the story where somebody, it's kind of like, it's like you can maybe imagine like we're in a party and at this part is like more of like the person trying to understand what the other person is saying, like, trying to, I don't know, try to making it or something. It's a song, it's a shuffle to that we record, there's two drums in it.
Yeah.
We record live. We had a lot of fun recording it here in Montreal. And yeah, I mean, you have other question from one. I don't know. It's like it's one of the songs we love the most.
Yeah, and it's super fun to play it live too.
Yeah,
because we sing on stage. Everybody on the chorus is like it's a party. It's a party in a party mode.
Yeah,
it's super fun.
Good. No, good. That's great to hear. And it's coming off your new album, Something Out of Nothing, which is due out June the 5th. What can we expect to hear on the record?
Well, here for the record, you might find two sides of our music. You already have a little hint of the first two songs, Byrne, I Don't Know, which those are more up tempo. So the A side, let's call it, it's songs to listen in a standing position. It's a little bit more up tempo, where you find also lyrics a little bit more lighter, like nothing like too brainy. And the B side, songs to listen in a sitting position, is like more introspective side. Lyrics are a little bit more in depth. There's grief songs. There's songs about distance. Also for
about
our family,
mothers,
and even like the songs are more slow too. You can find other arrangements. It's more acoustic too.
Yeah, and there's one song we sing in French, another one in Spanish and Inuktitut, and is featuring with Elizabeth, an artist from here from Canada.
Yes, so also like you can find these two vibes in this record. Also, we thought that having this duality was good to show also what it is for us, like music, because like we come from different places, different countries, and we have different backgrounds. So at one point we have like different styles of music, but it's also that resumes what life is, kind of, having ups and downs. So we were like, okay, let's go. Let's have this little
It's
different sides.
like a duality.
Yeah, the duality, exactly.
Yeah, nice. Good to hear. And the sound that you've made with this record, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
Well, yeah, I think it was pretty already with the same thing we wanted. Like the first record we did, it was also more slow. The second one, we got to meet each other better. We spent like 3 months in the studio preparing this record, and I find what we found what we wanted. Like I don't know, like you have to add, but the fact that we work with the same team, like the same producer and same engineer, it makes it like so good. Like we're really happy with the record. Sounds great. The arrangement was already like kind of made already and the pre-prod.
Hmm.
And there's only a few things that change during the recording session.
And we record everything live
Yeah,
on tape.
yeah. So that also gives a different vibe because like that's what we want to keep is like the music alive. The feeling it's. I mean, we put click and we rec all together, and then the few overdub we have to make, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're really happy with this record. To be honest,
Yeah,
like it's
there's a couple guests in the album. There's as I mentioned before, Elisa P is on the album. Alice Trottier-Rivard from BB Club, another band from
Adele.
Adele from another band from Montreal. We had Frank Lafontaine on keyboards. Robbie Kuster, the producer, on perks and drums, and sing with us in a couple of songs. Warren Spicer, the engineer, is from Unessential Oils band, or Plants and Animals too, and Morgan Moore on bass and a couple of songs. Yeah, it was really fun
Yeah, and
sessions.
and having those guys too that they're here from for a long time in Montreal, you know, for us it's like they're plants and animals. So like Robbie used to play with Patrick Watson before, so having all those vibes that we listened before, so it's like they kind of make the Montreal scene, and having them in the record was something that we wanted, and you can hear it too, like the Montreal vibe. I think
Yeah,
it's in there.
yeah.
Yeah, no, nice. And I'd like to talk a bit about the writing process as well. So for you guys, how do tracks normally start off?
Oh well, for the writing process is it's different. I mean, sometimes it's like we bring ideas to the studio and on the computer. Sometimes like we write like some chords and then we go in the on it like full on it and then we try it live. Or
Hmm.
there's few songs that we try live and then we go to do some pre-prod.
Yeah, or yeah, and we start often with the choruses too, and if we have a strong choruses, we're like, yeah, it's like okay, let's go, let's go,
Yeah,
yeah, digging
yeah,
in ideas and let's
yeah.
try something.
I think the choruses are pretty strong normally. So it's not all the time what start first for a song, but give the path
Yeah.
to go to the next part. Yeah, and we're all of three. We are composers, so we all write. The lyrics are more
Loic,
Loic, the
the
singer.
singer.
We participate too on it. He has a strong pencil. I don't know how to say it in English, but like he's really a good writer. And yeah, and I think the lyrics also talk about what happened between us. Like
Yeah.
our
Our
lives.
lives. Yeah.
He get inspired from our life in general. So
Yeah.
it's pretty transparent.
No, no, that's good to hear. And I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto the record. What happens to those now? Is it a case of trying them again down the line to see if they work, or will it be a case of starting afresh when the time comes?
Well, it's interesting you said talking about that because yeah, like well, from the beginning until now, I don't know. We have like 100 songs that are like in the waiting room.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean it depends because like for this record, like we choose those that were more close to us or more in this vibe we wanted to keep. But there are all ones that they're from the first record that they didn't made it, and probably those ones, who knows in the future. But now we're already working on new stuff, and yeah, we have a lot of music, and probably we'll make it. I don't know. I mean, it depends on where we're going. It's like we we always try to re-listen older versions and like, oh my god, we had this vibe before. Maybe we can bring that to another song, or there are songs that we cut here and cut there and you make a new song. Um, I don't know. like there's no formula from it, So
Yeah. Recently, we worked on up tempo songs, like 120 BPM, kick on the floor, and let's try. Yeah, we tried this vibe, and maybe in the fall we're gonna try something, I don't know, mid tempo or ballads, and yeah,
yeah, the palette is pretty.
try.
It's the other thing is pretty large, so it's not that easy to choose one direction. Yeah, here we have our friend. We'll
Like,
make space.
sorry.
No, it's fine. Sorry. Yeah. So, but we probably want to reuse. Like his music were already record. So I mean, pre-prod. So it's still there, and we can always go and take and see.
Hi.
Hi.
It's
Nice to meet you.
Great, nice to meet you.
And you've joined us just as we're probably coming towards the end of the interview, but we'll keep going because I want to talk about shows as well, because you've got some shows coming up in June and July at the moment, including one here in the UK in London. I bet you can't wait to be back over here and doing a show again.
Yeah. It would be the first time for the three of us.
Yeah.
In the UK, so really exciting, and we love music from your place. So it's been like the
best.
Yeah.
90% of my plays my records are from England.
Totally.
Yeah, in many different styles, and we've always loved like the taste there is in the UK about music, and it's super exciting.
Yeah, so we're going on London. We play the June 2nd
Second.
at the
lower third upstairs, and
yeah. The next day we will be playing in Paris
and the day after in Berlin.
In Berlin, so it will be really like
it's gonna be
short and sweet.
Yeah, pretty intense, but
yeah. And then we have other shows here in Canada. Like we're playing in a few festivals in Guelph and the Northern Lights,
Ontario.
Ontario. Then we're playing one of the biggest festivals in Quebec City, Festival d'été de Québec. We're playing there too in July, and then September Hamilton, Ontario.
Montreal with Pop Montreal
again, and like it keeps adding a little bit all the time. We just did a show in Toronto last Saturday, and it was pretty good. We had a lot of fun. Yeah.
It's always fun to play. We've been a lot in the studio these days, so the festival season and the European tour are going to be amazing.
Yeah, no, I bet. But there's still not too many shows booked in total. And like I said, it takes us through until the end of July. I'm sure you'll be wanting to book some more shows in. What is your plan for the rest of this year?
Oh, for sure.
I think we're waiting for the album to come out.
Exactly.
The bookers are waiting for that and to see the reception and
next year.
So I think the first shot in the European, like Berlin, Paris, and London, is also to show the act live to people in Europe. So like to see what we can do in the next year, to come back and to do like bigger venues or opening acts and stuff like that. So yeah.
Is there anywhere that you've not been to yet that you want to go and play aside from the ones on this tour?
Oh my god! Yeah, I mean, we want to go everywhere.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Mexico. I'd love to play there. We were talking about Brazil too. Japan would be amazing.
UK for me.
Yeah.
I mean, like do a tour in England.
I'd love to go to Africa because it's always like the European and Japan and stuff, and I love to go to places like where bands don't usually go, on tour. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I'm from Chile, so I would love to go to North America a little bit, because like also, there's not many big festivals there all the time, so it's harder to get there. Like to just go for a show. So probably a few years, who knows? Argentina, Chile, Colombia.
Yeah, because that's the most fun in this job is like to meet new people and like meeting new people with different cultures and see why we connect. It's the best. So yeah, anywhere. Send us anywhere we want to play.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Bye Parula to talk about new music and more. Now, we are all over social media, so come and find us at The Sound Lab, yes, on all the socials. You can also check out the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. So while you go and check us out on all the socials and give us some follows, of course, we've got our next interview from Dan Byrne. He's just released a brand new record and had a chat with him all about it. So Dan Byrne, how are you?
I am great, thank you, Jim. How about yourself? You okay?
Yeah, not bad. Thanks so much. So we've been playing a single of yours called Pulling Me Under. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Yeah, it's the most recent kind of delivery from ourselves, and we wanted something to go along with the release of the album, because obviously up until this point we've had, I think it's 4 different singles that have all been serviced, and we wanted to look at the rest of the songs from the album and go, which one is the most representative or hits a few more bases, because as you might be aware, and some people might not be, on the album, there are a lot of different genres and ideas spanned across the entire work. It's not just all classic rock or all metal or anything like that. So this was kind of an offering from my perspective, which was a little bit edgier and heavier, but it had a bit of a groove to it. And to contrast with the kind of bluesier and classic rock-esque songs that we've released so far.
Nice. Yeah, nice. And that is off your debut record. This is where the show begins, which is out 22nd of May. What can we expect to hear on the record?
I think that the going into this record, the thread that I really wanted to have is it's all the music that I listen to and want to put out into the world, but the common thread amongst these songs is my voice. So as I just mentioned, it's not necessarily all one lane. I listen to millions of different things at home, as I'm sure you do, and a lot of listeners also do. And I when I started this solo project, I've been in projects before that have been in, a certain genre or fan base. And when I went into this project under my own name, I kind of didn't want to restrict myself to one path. I didn't want to write in one certain genre. I wanted basically to have a musical footprint in the world that kind of I don't know, towed the line between a lot of different things. So I think on the album, there's a lot of things that I listen to. There's country elements, there's more contemporary elements, there's rock, grunge, whatever it is. But I just wanted to put my stamp on the current kind of alternative landscape.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you mentioned about the number of different genres on this record. The sound that you've ultimately made with it, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of just how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
I'll be totally honest with you. I don't think I had a set thing as to what I wanted to create. A lot of it was written over a span of 3 months. I kind of locked myself away in this office that you see behind me. And I just wrote some songs, and some of the songs on the album, I had ideas from when I was like 14 years old, and I kind of didn't know what to do with that. And I was like, well, wouldn't it be cool if I could take something that was inherently myself, especially when I'd not really lived much or had much experience, and gone, with a viewpoint of what I've done over the past couple of years, can I come back to some of these ideas? And one of my favorite songs on the album, Home, which is the one that closes it, that's an idea I had for a long time and just couldn't, I didn't know where the song was going. And then I think after a few years, I lived in London for a bit, I moved away, I've come back up north, and after having some more experience, I've gone, you know what, this speaks to me now. This is exactly what I want to do with it. And there's a lot of that on the album. I think I just let it kind of dictate itself, and I just wrote the songs as and when they came to me.
No, fair enough. And I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto the record. What happens to those now? Is it a case of trying them again down the line, or binning them off and starting again when the time comes?
I actually love that question, only because I have such a strict way. Basically, if I'm not feeling a certain song as I'm writing it, I have a tendency to get stuck on an idea. So I think the best thing for me is to just absolutely scrap it. So they are still there, they're within the depths of my folders. But if I'm not feeling something or I can't see where the song is going to go, I kind of just close it down, start something new, because otherwise I'll spend 4 weeks trying to do the same idea over and over again. So it's just a way of me managing myself, I think. But hopefully, as I just mentioned, there's some ideas from years ago that I managed to dig up and work around. So album 2, 3, 4, maybe some of those ideas will then end up on them.
Yeah, nice to hear. And I'd like to talk a bit more about the writing process as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
It is a combination of things. I spend a lot of my life singing into the voice memos app on my iPhone. So there's many, many different melodies or choruses or something on there. Sometimes I'll work with that and try and put chords around it, but more often than not, I tend to start with a guitar. Because by trade, I'm a guitarist, but it was only when I couldn't find a singer is when I went, okay, you know what, I'll sing until we find somebody. And then 10 years later, I'm still singing. But I normally start with a guitar, I'll have some ideas, and then typically the lyrics then follow either the vibe or the mood of the song that I'm currently trying to write. It's very, very rarely the other way around.
Fair enough. And when it comes to the world of lyrics, obviously the world of lyrics and the world of music are two very different things. What's it like for you to try and merge those two together?
It's really fun, but it can be really challenging. Only because I don't want to just write the same old thing over and over again. And it's easy to do that. You can easily just go, I'm going to sing a song about relationships, and it's all very straightforward. And I think on this album in particular, I really tried to play around with wordplay a little bit more. And like one of the songs is called Cherry and Leather, and as 80s as it sounds or something, I was literally drinking. Well, I got into wine over the past couple of years, and the notes on the wine bottle were something cherry and leather, and I was going, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if you could turn that into like the idea of like an intimidating woman or like a relationship?" So I was like, "Okay, well, let me see if I can play with that." So a lot of my work is kind of autobiographical, and it's just kind of a story of what I've been through. But I think on this first album, I also wanted some more like storytelling points or just general wordplay.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And you've been busy doing some shows with some more shows coming up. How's the shows been so far? Because you mentioned you were on the road with John Five. So how were those, first of all?
It's the John Five shows have been absolutely incredible. I mean, him as a guitarist is absolutely mind blowing. But the whole team was so lovely to us. And one of the many, many positives about taking that tour was getting in front of a lot of people that typically wouldn't know who I am, because obviously he has fan base from Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, Motley Crue, whatever it is, and those worlds don't always align with my own. So the fact that I'm getting in front of people who typically haven't heard of me is fantastic. But off the back of that, in just 2 days' time, I think we're heading all the way up to Scotland to start the record store tour, which is what you're alluding to, and it's on the day that my album comes out, so it's going to be lovely to have a tangible record, basically, and be able to meet people who have been supporting me for a long time and sign things and do a Q&A. And I'm really, really excited. It's going to be very heavy. It's 2 shows a day for an entire week, but we're trying to make it a bit more fun and easy to endure.
And a lot of driving between, because I've got the list in front of me, and you've got a bit of driving on the same day of those 2 shows.
Oh yeah. It's like a dartboard tour. It's like kind of just going, where's it going to land? Yeah, we'll go down there. I think there's a real tough one from Oxford to Portsmouth to Swansea to London, I think it is. It's like a real, but I'm going with my manager, and we always we literally just played a festival in Milan, and by the end of it, someone leaned over and went, I'm surprised the oxygen masks haven't come down because of how much you two have spoken. So as long as I don't lose my voice by talking in the car for the whole time, it's great. It's fine.
Fingers crossed for that. And
yeah, exactly.
Obviously, you've got the acoustic record store tour, but you've got your full electric live shows coming up, including one this month after this record store tour as well.
True.
How do you, obviously the shows themselves are going to be different, but how do you cater the sets between them as well?
Well, it's a good time to ask that one because the next headline show we're doing is kind of the bookend of the acoustic tour, and that is my first ever hometown show in Liverpool. And for that show in particular, it was very easy because we promised that we'd play the album in full. So I was literally just on a phone call like 10 minutes before this interview about that, and we were really trying to do we go the traditional route and it has to be in the order of the album, or do we do all of the songs but in a way that flows a bit nicer? Or so we've been trying to work that one out for that show. But typically, similar to picking the order of songs on an album, you kind of want to find the right curve, because if you put too many slow songs together, people might lose interest, or if if it's all very heavy, everyone might go, wow. So there's definitely an art to doing that, but obviously a set list is a little bit more difficult because it's all of the songs you've ever released as opposed to just a finite number of songs.
Yeah, for sure. And you've got more live shows coming up in October across the UK as well. But that's kind of it that's in the diary at the moment. So are you hoping to add more dates this year?
Yes, the October dates are originally what was going to be this month, but on as John Five's in Motley Crue, they played American Idol, which was a clash of schedules, so we had to move them to October. So we're joining him on them. We've got 2 shows with FM in a couple of weeks, and this year it's because we've just done a headline tour, so I know it didn't align perfectly with the album. But the plan really is we really want to go to Europe this year. So we're seeing if we can make that possible because we had a great time in Italy. I think we all want to go back as soon as possible. And maybe the end of the year and or start of next year, we'll probably come back with a full headline and play some shows in maybe some areas that we haven't necessarily done as much as well.
Yeah, is there anywhere else across the world, I guess, that you want to go and play at some point?
Well, looking at the Spotify stats and everything that comes through, we have a lot in America. Like by far and away, my audience is in America now. The problem with that is it's such a big place that I think we have like 20,000 more than in the UK or in Europe. But there's so many cities and it's so big that if you were to divide that by the amount, area and cities there, it's not even in my top 10 cities because it's so vast. So it's trying to work out the best means to do that. And hopefully we can jump on a tour or work something out where we can do that. And South America would personally be amazing for me as well. But yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Dan Byrne to talk about his new record and more. Now, if you're listening to us on Spotify, then you'll be pleased to hear we also have a Spotify playlist. It's called Fresh, and it brings you 150 brand new up-and-coming artists that we feel like you might just enjoy yourselves. And if you want to check that out, search Fresh by The Sound Lab on Spotify, or head to the website thesoundlabuk.co.uk and click on the Fresh playlist button. So while you go and check us out on Spotify and give us a save to listen to later on, of course, we've got our next interview from Professional 101. They've been busy releasing new tunes, and I had a chat with them all about it. So Professional 101, how are you?
Amazing, shape, man.
Good, great to hear. So we've been playing a single of yours called Life of Moderation. Why don't one of you tell us a little bit about the single?
Rob?
Well, I didn't write the single. I wish I wrote something like that. But as usual, our songwriter extraordinaire, Manny Waldner, showed up to the studio. We were actually recording in Rack at the time when Manny came to me. He said, I've got this riff. I think it's something, And I was downstairs in studio too. And sound-wise, it was just one of those kind of magic moments. Sound-wise, the guitar was already hooked up to a really, really lovely Marshall cab and orange rig, and the sound coming out was great. And Manny said, it goes a little like this. And we just started to jam it. And straight away, there was just, when you get a groove in a song, there was a vibe just immediately. And Seb Monk was there kind of filming us, and we sort of lost ourselves in the room. And then, and just Manny, as usual, started spitting out these lyrics that were just otherworldly. And so delivering songs like that to the rest of the guys in the room was kind of easy. I think, Manny, why don't you tell us kind of where the idea came from, dude?
Well, actually, the idea came from when we met Danton, and basically I was really stressed. We had it was just I think our second or third gig ever, my second or third gig ever in live, And I was really stressed because I was thinking, oh my God, we have this like really, massive producer coming to see it. And I really wanted to impress him. Like, I was like, we gotta get this guy excited about the project and everything. So I just built up this whole like thing in my head. And I was like, but then I was also kind of doubtful, thinking like, what am I doing? Like, like, what am I, like, I should know better. I'm old enough to know better than to do this silly stuff right now in my life kind of thingy. And it was just like big like confusion in my head between these two different things, really wanting to do well, and then also thinking like, what am I doing? Like, and then this whole like, this question about like, well, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, like just like what, live some sort of a moderate life of go to work and this. I was like, yeah, I should be doing this. It was kind of like it was kind of to pump myself up. And then I felt so horribly stressed about it. And then it went really well. It went really well. And the next day, I still have a real job. Like, I'm a physical therapist. And next day, after like big build up, I had to like work whole day. I think I had like 8 or 9 clients, and I was so knackered at the end of that day. But I felt like, as I was driving home, I was in the car on North Circular, and I kind of felt this, like, felt kind of pumped. Fuck, I did it. Like, Danton was really super pleased. I had this really great conversation with him. He was like, oh my God, you guys are great. I finished this great day of work, and then I was going home, and I had this like down and down, down and down and down and down, and I was like, holy shit. And then in the morning, I don't know, in like 2 minutes wrote the lyrics for it. Yeah, it was weird.
Nice, yeah, nice. And that's coming off your debut record. This is The Sound, which is due to come out 6th of November. How's it sounding at the moment?
I think it sounds absolutely stellar. I mean, of course, we're biased, but we got it back and we did the usual thing of, standing in the studio and saying everything was great, and then driving our producer mad by getting the mixes back and then changing everything and then listening again. And then on like mix 4 or 5, we started to sort of really get into fine details, and that's kind of when we knew we're onto something here. So we sent it up for mastering with the has to be mentioned, John Weber up at Air Studios, who's just the guy's a magician, and we got the whole thing back, and we had our first listening party the other night, and yeah, it sounds pretty big. It sounds like a rock band should.
Good, yeah, good. And obviously, we're still about 7 months away from the record coming out. Is there anything else you need to do to it, or is it done?
No, I think we've been fiddling with it so much that I think like it's kind of like, when do you stop? Like, I don't think there's ever a moment where when you, as an artist, I think rarely there's a moment where you go like, oh, that's it, it's perfect now. Like, I think, it's quite common, I think, with people just going like, oh, I want to tweak it, because every time you hear a new version of whatever it is, every time you hear a new version of anything, or if you're painting or anything, it's always new, and it always is inspiring, further inspiring. Like, always think like, oh, I'm gonna add that, or I'm gonna change that. Like, and I think at some point you have to make that call. Like, you have to make that call. Like, this is it. Like, this is enough. Like, and because you can't go on forever. I mean, you want to kind of, because it is kind of a fun bit about it. I think, like, to be honest with you, I think it's the nicest thing about it is the creative thing,
Yeah.
Well, for me anyway.
Yeah, and I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto the record. What happens to those now? Is it a case of trying them again down the line, or will it be a case of starting afresh when the time comes?
Oh, there's tons.
We got tons of music. We actually have probably a second album's probably finished completely, and almost the whole third album. And there's like new songs being written all the time as well. We actually have 2 songs which are in our live set that are from the second album, or what should be the second album, or what's gonna be the second album. So we're playing this song called "The Secret" and "Atomic Children," which we really, really like, both of them. And there's loads. There's loads that we had to basically. We picked up this gig. Where was it, in Prague last summer?
Yeah,
And they wanted to play for an
Metronome
hour.
Festival, right?
Metronome Festival, and they wanted us to play for an hour. And we were like, but we only have 42 minutes worth of the album. Like, so we had to come up with another 20 minutes. So we had more material. So we made The Secret, we made Atomic Children, we made Help Me. There's, I think, 4 songs we kind of finished up, and
we did the Nirvana cover as
and we did a
well.
Nirvana cover as well.
Yeah.
But out of the originals, like we had like 4 originals, and we really liked The Secret and Atomic Children, and now they've become a part of our live set.
Yeah. Nice, yeah, nice. And I'd like to talk a bit about the writing process as well. So for you guys, how do tracks normally start off?
Well, they normally start off in Manny's head. So
well, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's a really unorthodox, fun process, because I've been at it for years, session in the studio work and things like that. And Manny comes along and says, like we described with Life of Moderation, says like, oh, I've got something, and we'll kind of tell you the riff and say, I've got an idea. And Manny, do you normally? Sometimes you have the lyrics straight away, right? And sometimes they just come
Well, it
after the riff,
depends.
right?
Sometimes I have it's I don't know. It's not really. There's no real kind of every time is a little bit different. Sometimes I
Yeah.
have the riff, and then the lyrics come. Sometimes I have like a line that I think it's kind of cool, and then like I build it from that. It's kind of funny, like I got to have a lot of ideas for riffs and songs, but the ones that have come to completion, it's almost like if I get an idea and I'm kind of like, like fiddling with it too much and like going this and that, it doesn't work out. Most of the songs that I've written, maybe all of them, apart from maybe 1 or 2, have been like this creative outbursts. Like they just kind of, I get an idea, a riff is playing in my head, and then there's something happens and like it just kind of falls out of my head in like 3 minutes, like, like of this wild. Sometimes I'm so like, I need to write things down immediately. I'm quickly like, where's my phone? Like before I forget them, like I had like so many cool lines that I've just forgotten purely by not having the phone close enough to record it and stuff. But then I'll get that, and then I'll send a little sound note to Rob, and Rob will put it on the fretboard, and then we'll take it from there into the studio and build it. Some of the songs were demos already, but most of the songs we did that way.
We're really lucky, just that tack onto that. Like we're really lucky in the sense that Manny focused really hard on building the right team of musicians around it in the first place. So when we do take something into the room, it's with full confidence. Like Johnny and Paul and the rest of the guys, like we know that they're gonna get it and they're gonna lift it into another space altogether, and it works.
Yeah, and there's still quite a collaborative effect then between all, I think, 5 of you in the band. Do you all still work on the tracks together to make sure it's what you all want?
Oh yeah, totally. Like I mean, the tracks are Manny's. Manny comes up with the riffs and the lyrics, but once it lands in the middle of that room, yeah, there's no bad ideas. We have a little bit of a motto in the band from one of the tracks on the album, "Better Days," and the line is "Better's always best." So yeah, and that's kind of our goal. It's there's no bad ideas. It's like everybody, we'll try everything, won't we?
Yeah, we'll play around with it, but like I said, like a lot of the songs are in my head start to finish, like the kind of and they kind of come out almost whole, and it's all like it's just like Rob will put some nice little licks on top of it, and Johnny would play the drums and stuff, and like, but a lot of times like the structure's there, and they're just kind of how just to make it pretty, like how to make it work, how to get that right sound as well, and how to make it all seem like a part of a whole.
Yeah.
That's
That's a good way
I think
to put
that's
it.
the
Yeah,
most.
that's a pretty good way.
That's a very, I think that's a very fine way of doing that. Like, to have a recognizable sound. I think like, like we all kind of know that the biggest bands in the world and everything, immediately when something comes on, it's like, even if it's not a famous song, you're like, oh, that's, whatever, Jack White. Oh, that's like, like there's a recognizable sound, like, to a good band. I think, like, whatever they do, and that's what we're trying to more work on together, is like to
Yeah.
have that sound.
Yeah, there can only be one
That,
architect. There's nothing gets done well by council, as it's famously known. So it's like the way I see it is like we're kind of painters, decorators, and Manny's the architect. It's like, right, there's the house, but like,
Yeah,
yeah.
fair enough. And you've done a couple of shows this year, including the Rock and Roll Freak Show experience, which you did just a few weeks ago. Tell us a bit about that.
oh man, the rock and roll
Oh.
fruit show experience was great. Where do we start?
Right out of a insane mind of Paul Fifield. Rock and Roll Freak Show experience is kind of like walking into a head of our rhythm guitarist. That was basically his his whole concept. Like he just, how would I say this? I don't know how to describe Paul. He just really likes to have a good time. And he really likes it when people are having a good time. Like, the man has bought, no one in London has bought more drinks for people than
Yeah,
Paul
so
Fifield
true,
in
man.
the last year. Like, not even close, mate. Like, not
It's not
even
close.
close. And
No.
how much joy he gets out of seeing people having a good time, I've never seen that in my life. Like that's
Yeah,
that's
he's
something
incredible.
amazing. And he wanted to make this like, like this banging night when he's just like, like we just want to be a part of this, like a little, like this little scene or movement or whatever, like, where people just want to come in, have a
Yeah,
great time, see something like wild and crazy, and just, go home going like, oh my God, what the hell just happened? Like, give
yeah,
people these memorable nights. Like, we live in such an incredible city that had such powerful musical moments, like, 60s, 70s, 80s, all the time. Like, it's just incredible when you look back on it and you see these, like, amazing clubs and nights, and we kind of want to be the same. Like, we want to be a part of something like that as well. Like, that just feels like a right place to be, like, musically, and it's one thing being on stage, which is a great thing, but also it's like we love being like, once we play that show, we just love going in the crowd and having the same thing, having a good night.
yeah.
um
It's so
and
true. And once we put it out there, the amount of it, I think it was kind of proved or kind of vindicated itself once we put it out there. The people who got involved, like we had Devere open the show, who are incredible. Then we had Kid Bookie headline the show, and then we had Dev from Idols do DJ sets. The whole show was produced and run by Rex Roulette from Roulette Customs and Arno. I mean, these guys, the fact that all those people kind of jumped on board with the idea sort of really nailed it home for us that this is a thing.
that they
Yeah,
all wanted the same idea. I want to put on this, like, some crazy night of rock and roll, and
Yeah.
because ultimately we all love rock and roll.
yeah. No, we absolutely do. But the people who love rock and roll will want to see you doing some more shows, and there's not much booked in the diary at the moment. What's your plan for the rest of this year and
I
getting out
know,
there?
but I know that's what we're like working on now as well. The issue is, like, we had this like big tour plan and everything, but like now with with the economic situation, everything being so expensive. I mean, like, to be a touring musician, it's so difficult anyway, as it is, like, and now with like everything just going through the roof. I mean, like, with everybody's feeling at every step, like, even like, if you look at like the simple basics of renting a van, which costs so much money, now the petrol is going like 25% more expensive.
Mm.
Like, it's just I don't know, I don't want to sound doomy and gloomy, but it's just becoming more and more difficult. Like, we want to, obviously take this on the road, but we're trying to figure out how is this possible without us bankrupting ourselves,
It is. It is strictly. It is
and
strictly economics. We've got a couple of cities. The people in Bournemouth were talking to us about Halloween for a rock and roll freak show, which would be ideal. But in the summer, yeah, as Manny said, we're trying to plan some stuff. But it strictly comes down to the economics of it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the situation right now, I mean, like everybody's watching what's going to happen, like in the next couple of months, like, so I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
no,
see.
fair enough. No, makes sense.
We have some like possible festival stuff, so I don't know. We'll see.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Professional 101 to talk about new music and more. Now, if you're loving all of today's interviews, then you can hear them again on our Future Hits radio show. It comes alongside a live session and loads of new tunes, and all the interviews in an edited form this time round. And if you want to check out that and all of our other radio shows that we do, head to the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk, and click International Radio Shows, which will take you to our Mixcloud account, The Soundlab UK. So while you go and check us out on Mixcloud to listen to all of our previous shows after this episode is finished, we've got our next and final new interview, and it comes from Bayside. Had a chat with them at Slam Dunk Festival just last week, and they're heading out on tour as well. So Bayside, how are you?
Excellent. How are you?
Not too bad.
Having a great day.
Good.
Yeah.
Enjoying the sun?
Nick's right. Nick's doing great.
You're here at Slam Dunk. How's your day been so far?
Oh, amazing. I love being in the UK in general, but being here for a festival, and this is always a great one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's just we're happy that the weather is like this.
Yep.
I feel like it's so uncommon for it to be this way that we can't stop talking about it.
Yeah, definitely. And you hoping to catch some bands this weekend?
Yeah, I think when we're done talking to you, we're gonna go watch the Menzingers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what else is tonight. I didn't really look at the schedule that much. I want to say we're going to see Taking Back Sunday, but we're going on tour with them in like a week, so we could probably wait until...
Start a tour with them on Friday in the States.
Yeah.
But Motion City Soundtrack too.
Oh yeah, Motion City's on later.
Great band.
Okay.
We're sharing a bus together.
Yeah.
So they're our
They
bus,
mentioned it earlier.
They're our bus friends.
They said, did they say your aircon was broken or it was working nicely? I can't remember which one round it was.
It's very nice.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Too cold, actually.
Can't be too cold, surely. And as you mentioned, you're heading out on tour with Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to it?
Oh yeah. We've known those guys since before either of us had record deals, even. Like, we came up in the same scene in New York, playing shows, and we played together 100 times since then. So.
Yeah, it's our first tour together since 2011, so it's been a minute.
Yeah.
This particular tour, too, is going to a lot of places that we don't normally go, like smaller markets and stuff, and that, it's fun to, like, change things up because it keeps you present, It's hard to go into autopilot.
Yeah.
Which is easy to do on tour. So changing the sight lines, going to new cities, playing new venues, it keeps it interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Is the set list same this weekend as you're doing on tour, or are you mixing things up?
Well, we've got a longer set on the tour than we do here. But we are playing everything that we are playing.
Everything we
here.
played today, we're playing on that, plus like another handful of songs.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And because you guys have been around for a while, is it still straightforward to create your set lists, or is it a bit of a challenge now?
I mean, we've got 9 records out, and then EPs and stuff on top of that. So it is hard to fit everything in. But I mean, we kind of have a formula. I think we have a good sense of what people want to hear. So it's usually like we have about half the set is usually stuff that we just know we have to play, and then promoting new stuff gets put in there, and then we always try to do the rounds with the old records and play something from the old records that people maybe didn't expect or never saw us play before.
Yeah, for sure. And it's obviously been a couple of years since the last record, and apart from a reworking of a track last year, a bit quiet on the music front. What's going on in the minds at the moment?
We're further than people think into a new record right now. Yeah, we are past the we're still writing, but we have a chunk of it written. We have a chunk of it recorded already. We'll wrap that up at the end of the summer and be new music kind of top of next year.
Yeah, nice. How's it sounding at the moment?
The best ever.
Yeah, life-changing.
For us and other people.
It sounds great. I mean, we're taking a different approach with making the record this time. We're really just taking a lot more time, actively working on it. We're spending a ton of time writing songs. Something that we've never really done is write way more songs than what's going to go on the record, and like be able to like pick only the best ones. Surprisingly, you'd think that bands do that often, but that's not something that we normally do.
Yeah.
So spending a ton of time writing, and then revising those songs, demoing the songs over and over, like to see what changes about them. Yeah, we're really spending a long time on it.
And was that intentional?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, because we have so many records, but we also have like a chip on our shoulder always to improve and have our fans not only stick around, but like enjoy growing with us, but also still a major goal is to make new fans. So we obviously can't do the same thing over and over, so we're just trying to figure out like what fits inside like the sound of Bayside, which we've done more so on the last 2 records, but we're still for like the 3rd consecutive record now just kind of expanding what that sound is.
Yeah, it's really important to us to always sound like Bayside, you know. I mean, just as a music fan myself, I don't like when I love a band and then they stop sounding like that band. So it's really important to us to make sure it sounds like Bayside, that the fans are going to like it. That's stuff that we put a lot of time and effort into. But like Nick said, it's also trying to make it, how is it going to be different than the last record or the last 9 records for that matter. So it's definitely challenging. We could just go make a record that sounds just like the old records, but we don't want it. And we could just go make a record that is whatever we dream up that sounds nothing like the old records, but we don't want to do that either. So we give ourselves more work, but I think it's worth it.
It's extremely hard.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, you know, like
pressure for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, and I think there's, you know, examples of bands that do like what Ant just said. It's like, oh, we're gonna grow and write a completely different style or a style adjacent. That sounds easier. If we wanted to write a Strokes record tomorrow, we'd probably crush it.
Go make pet sounds.
That's seems easier to do because there would almost be like no rules. Like when it comes to Bayside, it's like, well, we want to grow, but there are rules because we want everyone who likes us to continue to like us, but also excite ourselves, excite them, and also hopefully make new fans also.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd like to talk about the writing process as well. So for you guys, how do tracks normally start off?
So I usually start the ideas, and it always comes from a concept before I actually start writing anything. Like before I even like pick up a guitar and even start making any noise, it comes from listening to a ton of music and thinking about like, oh, I can hear. It's like there's this verse right now that we're going back and forth on, and Chris, our drummer, and I have been sending ideas back and forth about it. And I had this idea yesterday that I was like, I haven't picked up a guitar yet to play it. I don't know exactly what the notes are yet, and I don't know what the melody is yet. But the idea is that it's going to be these stabs, but I'm going to sing through the stabs, and it's going to be kind of like this other song that already exists. And so it's like, it always comes from like conceptualizing first, and then starting to like flesh out that what does that idea sound like in a Bayside song.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Bayside from Slam Dunk Festival just last week. Now, this is the part of the show where we like to throw back in time, and we're doing so back to 2021, where we had a little chat with PJ Morton, who you will know from the band Maroon 5, but we had a chat with him all about solo music and more, so this is what he had to say. So, PJ Morton from 2021, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Good to be talking to you.
Good, and to you too. So, firstly, the reason we're having a chat is because you've got a new single out called Please Don't Walk Away. What can you tell us about the track?
Yeah, that's right. Well, to me, it's kind of a throwback to classic soul music, classic R&B music, where the men weren't afraid to be vulnerable and show their hearts, show their feelings. And I just felt like that sentiment was kind of missing in music, at least in majority of it. So I wanted to lend my voice to that, and that's really what it's about. It's just a classic love story, or not wanting love to leave story.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been quite busy over recent years, writing, recording, releasing music either on your own or with Maroon 5. Tell us, what's it been like over the past year and a half with the pandemic and everything, and writing and recording in a different time, in a different period like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's been. I mean, different is the word. I've had different phases of it for me. I mean, initially I didn't want to do, I wanted a break from music. Everything was shut down. I just felt like I was running so much. And then I started to miss it so much, and then got into a creative period and started working again, and but then coming out of this, I think for me, it's just everything is different. Everything has changed just in how I look at things, how much I appreciate things, how much I value what we actually do, because it was all basically taken away from us. So it's caused me to be just even more intentional with my art, and what I decide to say and do. But it's been crazy. It's been a challenge. But I'm glad I've been playing in front of some people now, and we're getting somewhere to what the new normal is going to be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And with this new single, is this now leading towards a new release for you, a bigger body of work, an EP or an album?
Yeah, well, I think eventually, I'm certainly writing and working right now on new music. Like I said, I want to be intentional, so I want to take my time and make sure I'm saying exactly what I want to say. But hopefully next year, we'll have some new music to give. Hopefully a new album next year. That's the plan. The plan is a new album next year. So we'll see. We're just focused on Please Don't Walk Away right now. But man, I'm excited about the music I'm working on. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So how do you yourself keep yourself in different frames of mind? Because your solo work and your Maroon 5 work are different ends of the musical spectrum, really, with different genres. So how do you keep the two separate?
Yeah, I think it works because it's naturally who I am. I mean, I've been influenced by all types of music. I think, as a solo artist, I tend to go to soul and R&B, that I grew up on, gospel music that I grew up on. But I was very influenced by pop music as well. So, what I realized after joining Maroon 5 was that we're way more alike than we are different. It may seem like so far away, but at the root of it, at the base of it, when we're writing a song and we're starting a song, they all basically start out the same way. So I think it's just different expressions, different presentations. But I feel like myself in both situations. I don't feel like I have to change into something to be in Maroon and then change back, when it's time to do my solo stuff. It's just, I just happen to be on all sides of it. So for me, it's a treat, really, because when I'm with Maroon, then it makes me miss my solo stuff. When I'm doing my solo stuff, I miss the band. So I think it's just, I'm lucky to have this balance.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously Maroon 5 released a new record this year called Geordie. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, Geordie, well, of course, named after our manager that passed away a few years ago, who meant so much, started out with the band from the very beginning, first manager. I joined, probably 10 years later in 2010. But the guys had been a band since 8th grade, so it was a very hard thing. And, to pay tribute to Geordie, we named the album after him. And, it's just continuing to do what we do, trying to make good songs that people want to sing along with. And we just finished a 9-week U.S. tour supporting the Geordie album. Really one of the first, major tours to go out since the pandemic. And although it was very different, it was successful and we finished it. And I couldn't be prouder of the band, and what we were able to accomplish.
Yeah, I can imagine. And obviously, since the pandemic, you've been back, as you mentioned, back on tour and doing some live stuff. What was it like being back on stage for the first time after so long off?
Yeah, it was just, gratitude, man. That's the word, really. I think for both of us now, both sides, I think the audience was just as excited as us, vice versa. We're just happy to be there doing what we do. And I am fully convinced now how important music is to our betterment. You know what I mean? We need it. The people need it. And that performance, doing it live, there's nothing else that can replace that feeling. So I was happy to be giving that to people, but also I was happy to be feeling that love from the people, so I think we all missed it and needed it.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking towards 2022, what's the plan for next year? Is it going to be a PJ Morton releasing and touring year? Have you got stuff with Maroon? What's the plan for yourself next year?
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit of both. I think, I know Maroon, we'll do some stuff. We're done for this year, but I know we'll be touring next year, or that's the plan at least. We'll see what the world says. But, it's supposed to be doing some touring. And then, if I can get this new music out, I'm going to be on the road. Well, I think whether I get the album out or not, I'm going to be on the road next year doing some touring. We actually, Europe was the last place we hit before the pandemic. So I can't wait to get back and do what we do. So the plan is going to be busy next year. That's the word for next year, is busy.
Good. I think after such a quiet year and a half, I think a busy year is what's needed.
No doubt. Yeah.
And possibly your fourth Grammy in 4 years.
Oh man. Listen, after the first one, I'm surprised at everyone, man. So who knows? I would be grateful. If I don't, I'm still grateful. It's been amazing to win 3 in 3 years. So we'll see. I'll just keep moving. Hopefully, Maroon gets a nod. I've worked on a lot of music, so we'll see, man. I'm just happy to be here at this point. I'm just having fun.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with PJ Morton of Maroon 5 from 2021. And that's the end of the show for another week, I am afraid. But don't you worry, we will be back next week. But if you can't wait until then, social media at The Sound Lab, yes, on all the socials. You can also give us a check on the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. And we'll be back next week for another episode of The Sound Lab's Interviews Unedited. Goodbye.